We might have one or two people joining a little bit later, depende de lo que pasa. Oh, I remember Patricia, Pat, she is out snorkeling. Lucky her, she's out snorkeling, so she will not be with us for sure tonight. Um, you know what? If I had a chance to snorkel someplace interesting, yeah, I'd be doing that too.
So would I, yes.
You
Um,
like Powell
Like, oh,
no,
that
or
wouldn't be very interesting. No.
Jamaica.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd be enjoying that
Yeah,
too.
not a safe country.
Yeah. Ok, bien. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Y sí, hace mucho calor aquí en Arizona. Hay un montón de nieve en el norte de Estados Unidos. Hay un montón. Y aquí en el suroeste especialmente, hace calor increíble para marzo. 100 grados, 100 grados en nuestra casa. Sí, tengo un termómetro en mi patio detrás. En mi patio, el termómetro está en la
Mm,
sombra del patio y nos dice que estamos a 100 grados. Ay, ok. Ah, y aún peor mañana. Worse tomorrow. Ok, vamos a practicar el orden, the order we're going to go in. We're going to do a linguistic warm-up with some shadowing from the article we had. So we're going to give everybody a chance to get about 4, maybe 5 sentences in. We'll do that as a warm-up. This is la boda durante el Super Bowl, ¿no? Ah, sí, primero, shadowing, un ejercicio. Segundo, preguntas del vídeo de comprensión auditoria, our listening comprehension video. Any questions with that later? And then we're going to dig into, sí, el tema número 3, el tercer tema, third topic, will be llevar. And uh, I'm not sure how far we'll get with everything with llevar. Depende de la cantidad de preguntas y todo eso. Ok. Um, well, the one thing I want everybody to really be conscious of when we do uh, our shadowing is, again, it'll sound like a broken record, which I am, vocales, yeah, vowels. And the reason I have to be kind of a broken record with that is that no matter how hard you try as an English speaker, it is very easy to fall into the trap of anglicizing things, and you think you're not. And don't think you're the only person who does that. For an English speaker, that is es algo típico, es típico. Okay, the bleed in of subconsciously pronouncing something that is anglicized and not quite right is so strong because of those cognate connections we have partially. And just because we have so many sounds our brains are used to in English that it tends to bleed over, and we forget to be really, really strict with those vocales of always 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 u. And that should be short. All those vowels are generally, they tend to be short. They are cut shorter than they are in English, as a general rule. So, we want to really, really fixate on that and work to make those pure. And the reason we want to do that is that it just makes it easier for other native speakers to understand what we're saying. Okay, so they don't get it confused with something, I don't know what, something that it's not. Yeah. Okay. vamos a empezar, and I'm going to, I was just saying, Karen, I'm going to try to fix something in the view thing. I don't know if I can do what you told me you wanted me to do,
It
but
was just a suggestion because I don't know, I don't understand why
I don't either.
sometimes everything stacks up and sometimes it doesn't. So
Um, I have an idea of what it might be, but I could be totally wrong. So we're gonna try my maybe it's this theory. Um, and you can just check out snippets and let me know.
well, I won't
Um,
know until I see the recording.
yeah, right, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, Vale, there are a couple things I'm gonna try to make that happen, but I'm guessing.
That's
Okay,
all you can do.
that's all I can do. Ok, pueden ver el artículo en la pantalla. Can you see the article on the screen?
Sí,
Yes, but not
Yeah.
clear. Oh, now it's looking
ah,
better.
Sí, sí.
See?
mejor,
Mejor?
sí, mejor.
Okay. And we're going to start. So now, what I'm going to say for this bleed over, por ejemplo, for example, we're going to start at this paragraph. And this word here, sensación, it's very easy for people to pronounce this as sensation or sensation. Yeah. And that's a bleed over of English coming into Spanish when it should not. Okay. And so we want to make sure it's sensation. And we've got two things to be thinking of there, the the sa, and the sion instead of shun. Okay. So, por ejemplo, for example, that's something we want to watch out for. ¿Quién quiere empezar con el ejercicio de shadowing conmigo? Who wants to start? And don't raise your hand because I won't see it.
Oh, I can start.
Ok, vale, bueno, vamos a empezar aquí. Nos miramos fijamente.
Nos miramos fijamente.
Nunca olvidaré
Nunca olvidaré
esa sensación,
esa sensación,
dijo la señora Aparicio.
dijo la señora Aparicio.
Dijeron,
Dijeron,
Benito quiere capturar, Benito quiere capturar
Benito quiere capturar
personas reales,
personas reales,
emociones reales,
emociones reales,
amor real.
amor real.
Bien. Okay. We looked at each other fixedly. Yeah. I will never forget that sensation, that feeling, said Mrs. Aparicio. They said, meaning the couple, Benito, and there's Bad Bunny, sí, porque su nombre es Benito. Benito wants to capture real people, real emotions, real love. Su mente se llenaba
Su mente se llenaba
de preguntas sobre cómo
de preguntas sobre cómo
funcionaría todo.
funcionaría todo.
Bien, pero la pareja
Pero la pareja
aceptó.
aceptó.
Bien, okay, and that I'm glad I heard aceptó, not aceptó. Sí, bien. Um, their mind was full of questions about how everything would work, and that funcionaría is that conditional tense, meaning would work, not did work, but would work hypothetically. But the couple accepted. Aún no sabían
Aún no sabían
que Lady Gaga
que Lady Gaga,
casualmente
casualmente,
la artista favorita
la artista favorita
de la señora Aparicio,
de la señora Aparicio,
actuaría
actuaría
inmediatamente
inmediatamente
después de casarse
después de casarse
en el escenario.
en el escenario.
Ni que Bad Bunny,
Ni que Bad Bunny,
el artista favorito
el artista favorito
del señor Walter,
de señor Walter,
firmaría, firmaría
Firmaría
el acta de matrimonio
el acta de matrimonio
como testigo.
como testigo.
Okay. They still didn't know that Lady Gaga, uh, and by the way, by chance, casualmente, by chance, Senora Aparicio's favorite artist would perform. And this is the same as the funcionaría. Actuaría is again that conditional, would perform. Actuar is used for acting. But in this case, since she's not technically acting, but she was singing, it would be she would perform immediately after getting married on stage. Nor did they know that Bad Bunny, Mr. Walter's favorite artist, would sign, and here's again a conditional, condicional, would sign, firmaría, the wedding certificate as a witness, como testigo,
Ah,
as a witness. Ok, bien, vale. ¿Quién quiere continuar? Would like to keep going with me? ¿Alguien?
Vamos.
Ok, bien.
Voy.
Tampoco
Tampoco
anticiparon
anticiparon
la tensión
atención
que recibirían
que recibieran
tras la actuación.
tras la acción.
They did not, nor did they anticipate, or they didn't anticipate either, the attention they would receive. There comes that condicional again, that they would receive after the performance, la actuación. Actuar would be act or perform. Actuación is the performance. And this, the tras word, this tras word is just subbing in as an alternative for después de. It's interchangeable in this context with después de. All right. And they just want to mix it up to use some different words for variety. Algunos del público
Algunos del público
del show
del show
notaron que
notaron que
la pareja que estaba,
la pareja que estaba,
sí, legalmente,
sí, legalmente
casada en el escenario,
casada en el escenario,
parecía una pareja de verdad
pareció una pareja de verdad
y sintieron curiosidad
y sintieron curiosidad
por saber más
por saber más
sobre ellos.
sobre ellos.
Sí. Some of the audience, público is the audience. Some of the show's audience notaron, they noticed that the couple that was, yes, legally married on the stage seemed like a real couple. Una pareja de verdad, a real and actual couple. And they felt great curiosity, felt great curiosity to know more about them. Um, un poquito más, Esteban, sí, por favor. Su historia comenzó
Su historia comenzó
en 2018.
en 2018.
El señor Walter
El señor Walter
era técnico
era técnico
de sala de emergencias.
de sala de emergencias
Bien. Y la señora Aparicio
y la señora Aparicio
era copista médica.
era copista médica.
Okay, bien. Their story began in 2018. Mr. Walter was an ER technician. Yeah, técnico is a technician. And señora Aparicio was a medical copista. What do you think would be a good translation for copista?
Copyist.
Yeah, a person who copies.
Stenographer? Ella nota los
That's right. A scribe.
A scribe, exactly.
Yeah, a scribe. And somebody had mentioned in the morning, like a scribe. Yeah, you know what? The way we probably all first heard the word scribe was when we learned that there were little monks who used to sit and copy books before the printing press in the Middle Ages, right? Well, which they were scribes. But nowadays, a scribe is somebody who takes notes. Yeah. And those of you, if you've ever been to the doctor, which I'm sure plenty of you have been, a lot of times the doctor may take
Once
the
or
notes
twice.
himself. Yeah, once or twice. Una vez, quizás dos veces. Many times there is a technician in there who takes the notes for the doctor instead of the doctor doing it him or herself. And that person would be the copista, because sometimes it's just more efficient for them to hire somebody to do it, uh, um, instead of them having to do it themselves. Uh, yeah, medical things being as they are now, many things on the iPads or computers while we're in offices.
Could it also mean
Sí,
transcription?
Yeah,
Sometimes the doctor might dictate and then somebody
see,
has to
it could also be,
transcribe it.
yeah, it could be a technician as well. Sure, sure. See, exacto. Anybody who writes down notes could be somebody who takes transcription from audio
mm,
recording. Somebody,
Right,
doctor, yeah,
right.
some make an audio recording of their notes, and then their notes are typed up by a copista, later on.
In
Um,
the courtroom, they
yeah,
have
like a
like they,
stenographer.
Sure.
That's a
and
stenographer.
the word is
right. It's
always
a time
feminine.
saver.
See,
Yeah.
The,
Me,
the word is
me so, oh,
sorry.
sorry.
The word is always feminine. Copista.
Yes, copista will always be an ista. Buena pregunta. Good question. Those ista words are always ista. They never become isto.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
like, so think of this word copista as electricista, electrician, or tenista, a tennis player. Yeah. You can get a word futbolista, soccer player.
Artista, artista en
Artista.
la historia.
Lo más fácil, the easiest thing in the world. Sí, lo más fácil es artista, pianista. Sí, like that. Yeah. Now, if it's a male, it will be el copista, like it's el artista.
Ah,
If it's a woman,
y
el
la,
dentista. But if you've got a female dentist, it'll be la dentista. So, we just use the article el or la to tell what gender that person is. Okay. Bien. Vale, bueno, vamos a continuar. ¿Quién quiere seguir? Who wants to continue?
I'll go ahead.
Bueno, Susana, magnífico. Ah, a ver. Vale, perfecto. Ok. Bien. Pasaron algunos años
Pasaron algunos años
y ambos se convirtieron
y ambos se convirtieron
en enfermeros titulados,
en enfermeros titulados,
pero se mantuvieron en contacto
pero se mantuvieron en contacto
en Instagram.
en Instagram.
En diciembre
En diciembre
de 2022,
de 2022,
ella le envió
ella le envió
un mensaje.
un mensaje.
Bien, sí. A few years passed and both became, there's our convertirse, there are became in pretérito, became licensed
Ah,
nurses.
ah,
But they stayed in contact on Instagram. In December 2022, she sent him a message. And this titulados word is a word that refers to somebody who has a degree or a certification to do an important type job, not just an apprenticeship kind of thing, but somebody who's actually licensed and has a degree, titulados. Ok, a principios de 2023
A principios de 2023
se reunieron
se reunieron
para comer hamburguesas.
para comer hamburguesas.
En medio de la conversación,
En medio de la conversación,
la señora Aparicio
la señora Aparicio
notó en su Apple Watch
notó en su Apple Watch
que él había estado
que él había estado
escuchando Neverita
escuchando Neverita
de Bad Bunny,
de Bad Bunny,
de su álbum Un verano sin ti.
de su álbum Un verano sin ti.
And album is a borrowed word, una palabra prestada. They just take that album word out of English, album, and they give it an accent mark on the front. And at the beginning of 2023, they got together, they met up to eat hamburgers. And in the middle of the conversation, Senora Aparicio she noticed on his Apple Watch that he had been listening to Neverita by Bad Bunny from his album A Summer Without You, Un Verano Sin Ti. ¿Te gusta Bad Bunny?
¿Te gusta Bad Bunny?
Preguntó.
Preguntó.
Él dijo que le encantaba
Él dijo que le encantaba
el artista.
el artista
There's an ista word. Y la música española en general.
y la música española en general.
Desde 2019,
Desde 2019. Sorry, I
eh,
got distracted. De
sí,
nueve.
2019.
2019.
Muy bien, sí. Cuando en el gimnasio
Cuando en el gimnasio
solo ponían reggaetón.
solo ponían reggaetón.
Yeah. Do you like Bad Bunny? She asked. He said that he loved the artist and Spanish music in general. Since 2019, when in the gym they only used to play. Yeah, that poner is from put, but in this case it's like play or put on reggaeton. And reggaeton, of course, is a musical genre like salsa. It's Bad Bunny's environment. See, se reunían
Se reunían
3 o 4 veces al mes,
3 o 4 veces al mes,
coordinando
coordinando
sus horarios
sus horarios
para verse
para verse
tan seguido como pudieran,
tan seguido como pudieran,
a pesar de sus turnos
a pesar de sus turnos
de 12 horas.
de 12 horas.
And now they're talking about the difficulty of matching up their long work shifts to make time to go out on dates. Okay. Se reunían, they used to get together, or they would get together 3 or 4 times a month, coordinating their schedules to see each other tan seguido como pudieran, as quickly afterwards as they could, the next time, however fast they could, however soon they could, in spite of their 12-hour shifts. My daughter has a lot of friends from college who were in the nursing program, and a lot of those gals work 12-hour shifts. This is a well-known thing in the nursing profession. Ok, vale, sí. Y aquí turno can mean a turn. Here it means your work shift. Ok. Aproximadamente.
Aproximadamente.
And let's turn that approximate, because we say approximate in English.
Yeah.
Approximate. We want approxi.
Oh, sorry. Aproximadamente.
Bien, bien, bien. You've got a
Aproximadamente.
lot of the long mente words. Yeah, aproximadamente un mes después
Un mes después
de su primera cita,
de su primera cita,
él le preguntó por teléfono,
él le preguntó por teléfono,
hipotéticamente hablando,
hipotéticamente hablando,
muy bien, ¿cuánto tiempo
¿cuánto tiempo
debería salir
deberías salir
con alguien
con alguien
antes de ponerle una etiqueta?
antes de ponerle una etiqueta?
Él estaba listo
Él estaba listo
para hacerlo oficial,
para hacerlo oficial,
pero ella necesitaba
pero ella necesitaba
más tiempo.
más tiempo.
Muy bien, muy bien. So, approximately a month after their first date, he asked her on the phone, hypothetically speaking, how much time do you need to go out with someone before putting a label on him, meaning he wants to make something official here? Yeah, he was ready to make it official, but she needed a little more time. Ah, bien, perfecto. Okay. Hiciste bien. You did well. Cristina, you want to
Sure.
close out our practice time?
No,
And
no. When you came back, you closed it off.
oh yeah, yes. Sí, lo sé. That I know. We're gonna
Okay.
go back in. Vale. I needed that visual to make sure who I had left. Or to see if somebody else had come in the meantime, yeah? Because once I put this up, everybody disappears from my screen. Okay, a ver, el 23 de febrero
El 23 de febrero
de 2023,
de 2023,
al final de una cita
al final de una cita
en Disneyland,
en Disneyland,
estaban sentados
estaban sentados
a una mesa
a una mesa
cuando ella dijo,
cuando ella dijo,
ya estoy lista.
ya estoy lista.
Puedes volver a preguntarme.
Puedes volver a preguntarme.
Perfecto, muy bien, sí. 23rd of February 2023, at the end, al final, at the end of a date at Disneyland, they were seated at a table when she said, I am ready. You can ask me again. And this volver a plus a second verb, an infinitive, is our again structure that many, many people love to use. There are about three ways of saying again. She could have said, ¿Puedes preguntarme otra vez? She could have said, ¿Puedes preguntarme de nuevo? But this uses volver a, which is our again structure. And that is the hardest again structure for English speakers to remember because volver also means to return, but here it doesn't mean to, well, it does. You return to do something, meaning you do it again. Okay? So, puedes volver a preguntarme. You can ask me again. Okay. And I'm going to just take out some kind of unnecessary stuff to make this a little bit shorter to read. So it's less of a mouthful of for people to get through. Okay, they're giving all these full titles of places where they have long, long, long titles and they're all in English, and we want to cut some of that out to give us some more time with the actual Spanish words. Vale. En octubre de 2024,
En octubre de 2024,
and I love that I heard octubre instead of octubre, octubre. Muy bien, sí. El señor Walter,
el señor Walter,
de 32 años,
de 32 años,
propuso matrimonio
propuso matrimonio
en Cannon Beach, Oregon.
en Cannon Beach, Oregon.
Se graduó de la Universidad Estatal de California
Se graduó de la Universidad Estatal de California
con una licenciatura
con una licenciatura
en enfermería.
en enfermería.
Sí. In October 2024, Mr. Walter, 32 years old, proposed marriage on Cannon Beach, Oregon, and he graduated from Cal State with a degree. Here's a degree word. Licenciatura looks like license, and it is because a license is a degree. Yeah, a degree in nursing. La señora Aparicio,
La señora Aparicio,
de 29 años,
de 29 años,
obtuvo una licenciatura
obtuvo una licenciatura
en kinesiología. Wow, kinesiología
en kinesiología
de la Universidad Estatal de California
de la Universidad Estatal de California
y una maestría
y una maestría
en enfermería
en enfermería
en la Universidad Western.
de la Universidad Western.
Bien, sí, so they tell where they graduated. And then we got our licenciatura, our degree, and then a master's. That maestría is a master's in nursing. Okay, un poquito más, un poquito más. Antes del show de Super Bowl,
Antes del show de Super Bowl,
la pareja participó
la pareja participó
en 2 semanas de ensayos,
en 2 semanas de ensayos,
una en Los Ángeles
una en Los Ángeles
y otra en Santa Clara.
y otra en Santa Clara.
See, before the Super Bowl, the couple participated in 2 weeks of rehearsals. Ensayo can be an essay, but in this case, it means a rehearsal. Rehearsal, one in LA, one in Santa Clara. Sus familiares
Sus
y
familiares
amigos
y amigos
sabían que
sabían que,
participaban
pa- que participaban
de alguna manera
de alguna manera
en el Super Bowl,
en el Super Bowl,
pero no sabían los detalles.
pero no sabían los detalles.
Les dijeron
Les dijeron
a sus parientes
a sus parientes
que iban a participar
que iban a participar
como bailarines.
como bailarines.
They did a little bit of White Lion to their family. So, um, and here we've got two synonyms because they have to say the word for relative close to each other. They wanted to mix it up and use different words. So, familiares means the same thing as parientes. Familiares is family members and parientes is relatives. So, those are almost the same kind of word. So their family members and friends knew that they were going to participate in some way, de alguna manera, in the Super Bowl, but they did not know the details. They told their relatives that they were going to participate as dancers. Yeah, little white lie. Antes de la presentación en vivo,
Antes de la presentación en vivo,
Bad Bunny firmó
Bad Bunny firmó
su certificado de matrimonio
su certificado de matrimonio
como testigo
como testigo
y los tres compartieron
y los tres compartieron
un momento.
un momento.
Yeah, so before the live show, yeah, instead of show, which they could have used, which is a power word, they chose presentación. Before the live show, and en vivo is live, Bad Bunny signed their wedding certificate, marriage certificate, as a witness. Como testigo is as a witness, and the three shared a moment. Okay. Bien, bien, vale. Okay, we're all done with that. We'll do one more. Does somebody want to do a little more, or would you like me to read that one last paragraph? ¿Qué quieren?
I can read it.
Okay, vale, bien. Vamos a continuar un poquito más. We'll do a little bit more, and then we're going to call that good enough for warm up. And I am really, really noticing how nice everybody is working on those vowels. Really nice job tonight. Okay. El momento cumbre
El momento cumbre
de la pareja
de la pareja
comenzó a los 5 minutos
comenzó a los 5 minutos
del entretiempo.
del entretiempo.
The peak moment for the couple began at the 5-minute mark of halftime. La cámara enfocó
La cámara enfocó
la ceremonia nupcial,
la ceremonia nupcial,
donde la pareja,
donde la pareja,
vestida de blanco,
vestida de blanco,
se tomó de la mano
se tomó de la mano
y se miró fijamente
y se miró fijamente
con amplias sonrisas.
con amplias sonrisas.
Sí. Cuando Antonio Reyes,
Cuando Antonio Reyes,
pastor de Project Church South Sacramento,
pastor de Project Church South Sacramento,
los declaró
los declaró
marido y mujer,
marido y mujer,
se besaron.
se besaron.
Solo mirarlo
Solo mirarlo
me quitó todos los nervios,
me quitó todos los nervios,
dijo la señora Aparicio,
dijo la señora Aparicio,
sobre el señor Walter.
sobre el señor Walter.
Se me olvidó
Se me olvidó
que había
que,
70,000 personas.
que había 70,000 personas.
Bien, perfecto. Yeah. Okay. So the camera focused on the nuptial or wedding ceremony, where the
Marilyn,
couple dressed in white took each other by the hand and looked fixedly at each other with wide smiles. Yeah,
Marilyn,
amplias, ample, but it means wide, great big smiles. Yeah. And when the pastor declared them husband and wife, they kissed. So this
Marilyn,
word marido is used more in Spain instead of esposo at times. You hear marido less in Latin America and esposo more. But as kind of a legal term for a legal wedding, you might hear marido. And then, of course, we have the mujer, which again is the same thing as esposa, but kind of an older. In some places, it's seen as a more old-fashioned kind of way to say esposa. Yeah, we in English is like my woman, but technically in this context, they're saying husband and wife, and mujer does not mean woman but wife. So
Marilyn.
Sí,
Sí, tengo una pregunta, por
sí,
favor.
sí, sí,
El
dime.
momento cumbre. That means the highlight moment or the
Yeah, highlight moment is a great way to, yes.
the
See,
cumbre.
cumbre is the very peak
Yeah,
of a mountain.
yeah.
And so here, the cumbre is kind of a metaphor. Yeah, peak moment, top moment, most important moment. Yeah, bien. Ah, okay. Vale, sí. Just looking at him took away all my nervousness, said Mrs. Aparicio about Mr. Walter. I forgot that there were 70,000 people
Sí.
out there. And we'll leave it at that. Somebody had asked in our morning session uh, about how would we address this? Because they're using Aparicio for the wife, but Walter for the husband. And in many, many, many Latino countries, women have, I would say, a wider range of choices of which surname they wish to use, and that has been going on. It's not like a feminismo thing. It's just the way things have been because of the multiple names that are often used. So, a married woman for many, many, many years, generations, uh, that has been able to choose to use her husband's name, choose to use uh, what we would call her maiden name, or just her regular name. She's always used. People have a little had Women have had a little more flexibility in the name they choose to use as a general rule. Somebody also asked, is there a Ms. term? And there really is not. Yeah. Uh, Although I hear from a lot of uh, YouTubers in a variety of countries, both in Spain and Latin America, that the use of señorita is falling out a little bit, poco a poco. I mean, I'm pretty sure with a 20-something-year-old, the señorita thing will still pop up, but um, it's kind of falling by the wayside as women get older to just use, señora as a title,
Mhm.
regardless of the woman's
Marriage.
marital status. So I guess that is becoming maybe substitute for not having a Ms. for a lot of folks. And of course, the practices in one region or country might vary, depending on just the practices of that place. Okay,
So Maryland
see,
in Latin America also, it's common, at least for a man, to use his
oh,
mother's name as
perdón,
part of
I'm
his
sorry.
formal.
Hold your question one quick moment. I
Okay,
I turned something on I didn't need to do. Otra vez again.
okay. In Latin America, and I think in Spain, as part of their formal name, they'll use the last name of their mother as well as the last name of the father.
That is frequent, yes. So, and if you want to get really, really technical, somebody can string it out to 4 different surnames, which gets really who's going to do that? But who's going to do that when they're talking to people? Nobody.
Right, and right. It's in formal usage, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in general, if 2 surnames are used, yeah, if you've got 2 surnames being used for, any person, regardless of marital status, what generally happens is that the father's name comes as the first of the two, and then the mother's name.
Hmm,
They might be connected by the word "y" and
okay.
they might be simply hyphenated. There might be just the 2 names. So there's a lot of variation. And a lot of this started with, in Spain at least, to fall into place in the 1800s.
Mm.
So, uh, but okay, but somebody may only, with their speaking to somebody and you're saying señor and then their name, instead of señor Martinez Gomez, it'll be just Señor Martinez, you'll pick the father's surname right? And pair that up. But once you get to legal documents, that's where all that multiple surname stuff does get recorded frequently, just for legal reasons. Okay, so you may see a long string of names on, for example, a birth certificate, a marriage certificate, all of that. So, okay.
Marilyn, is that historically so that they can see from which families, kind of trace back family ancestry?
That's always been my understanding because there are a lot of surnames that are so common
Ah,
that,
right.
but at some point it becomes a real jumble. Yeah. So, yeah, I think traditionally the reason was to straighten out which Martinez you were. Yeah, of the thousands and thousands of Martinez folk out there in the world. Um, so, yeah, official documents that are legal in nature will often have the multiple names. But of course, when people address each other verbally, they're not going to use all those names. So, okay. Bien. Ahora, el segundo tema, our second topic, we want to take a look at. I want to see if you have questions on any vocabulary, any terms that you might not have understood from the listening comprehension video. And it was a cute meet story,
Mhm.
a cute meet story of how some grandparents met. Yeah. El tren perdido, the lost train. Una conversación en la estación de tren después de perder un tren en la lluvia, una situación mala, pero en realidad no fue nada malo. It really wasn't bad. Sí, se conocieron dos personas, se conoció una pareja, a couple met. ¿Ya? Ah, y quiero saber si hay alguna pregunta. I want to know if you've got any question on any term she used in there. Sí, Cristina.
So two things that I think are idioms or, chunks. So they're both at about minute 6. The one I thought meant goosebumps, but I couldn't pull that out of my dictionary. The tengo la piel chinita de gallina.
Ah, yeah. She was talking about yeah, chicken skin, goosebumps.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But my dictionary said that would be carne de gallina.
Oh,
Uh,
mine said it was I have my faithful little hen. I said, okay,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
bizarre.
they were just talking about, oh, goosebumps from such a,
Right.
oh
Yeah,
my gosh, what might have happened? Yeah, that was just a way of talking about that
It
sensation.
chickens when a ganso is a goose. I remember the expression that white chicken and not ganso.
Uh, Creo que no hay motivo. That's just one of those
Uh,
non-translatable things. It's
Because
just,
chicken skin is,
it,
is bumpy,
But
bumpy.
but
it
you
is bumpy.
probably pluck a chicken more
exactamente.
often than you plug a goose, so get that
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
why is that? Maybe just because it's, I don't know, more common, something people had more contact with, and that's why it turned in that way. Quién
And,
sabe? Who
and my
knows?
other question is right in line with the theme of prepositions. At about minute 6, she says, Yo pienso que siempre las cosas pasan por algo y para algo.
Ah, uh,
hmm.
por algo for some reason.
¿Sí?
Yeah. Or because of something. It might mean either of those. And para algo for something to happen.
Hmm.
Yeah. For
For reason so
for
that
some something meant to be in the future. Yeah. The para always puts something out as a future or a destination. And the por generally talks about a reason for something happening. Yeah. Bien. Bueno, hay otra pregunta del video. Any other question about that video? Or sí, Esteban, dime.
Um, let's see. Ella levantó la vista.
She
I
raised her, she raised her,
yeah,
yeah,
she looked up or
vision.
whatever, but that doesn't compute in my head.
She lifted her eyes. She looked up.
Porque no, se no usan ojos.
Ah,
Es una expresión.
oh, no, no. No. Because uh, levantar los ojos would give you a feeling that, those eyeball, like a horror movie. Yeah. We're going Men in Black. The eyeballs come out of the socket and go boom, boom, boom. Levantar los ojos would be like that. No, what shifts upward is the
Seen.
line of sight.
Oh,
It
okay.
raises her eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do say in English, you know, look up. I really look up would be the most common thing, right? Look up or gaze upward, maybe if you're being a little more
I would say mira.
yeah. But yeah, we would not say levantar los ojos because that is like boom, 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 boom. Uh, yeah, la vista because you
You
shift
notice.
your line of sight up. Yeah, and la vista is your line of sight. That's it. I never thought about that. Para mí es muy natural. For me, this is like a natural thing I wouldn't have asked about, but I'm glad you are because, yeah, I understand. Entiendo.
El verbo bajar es un verbo nuevo para mí.
Bajar, oh, as in get off or as in lower?
Voy a salir el tren.
Okay. See. Okay. So here are the opposites. To get onto a vehicle, you have to step up to get in. So it's always subir for
Okay,
getting
climate
on.
too. See,
Subí al tren. Okay, I got on the train. Subí al metro. I got on the metro. Subí al carro. I got into the car. You always step up to get in, and you always bajar to step out and down to get. So getting on a vehicle is subir, even though subir also means to go up like stairs
right?
or a mountain. Yeah.
You also use. I would use the word entrar.
Uh, you could,
Pero
but
subir makes sense.
almost everybody for vehicles uses subir for get
Makes
on,
sense.
and almost everybody uses bajar
Uh,
for getting off. Yeah. We have get on and get
you know,
off. On and off. They've got bajar, step down and out, right? So
that
getting
was
off the train
that
is,
was good. And I've never read about that or came across that before. And I'm
yeah,
like,
getting out of the car. Bajé del carro, bajé del auto. I got out of the car. And we don't even need an out. It's all built into that one word. Yeah. We don't need a down or out word for that. It's just bajar. Yeah. Bajé del auto, bajé del carro. Buena pregunta. Good question.
tengo una más.
Sí, sí, dime.
Bueno, at 5:33, and I hope I heard this right. Y colorín colorado.
Yeah. Colorín colorado.
Yeah, she said that. She
That's
says that at
right.
the end
She
of her.
says at the end of every
Yeah.
story, colorín colorado is a little thing that you often say. Parents will say it at the end of a story when they read a bedtime story to their kids. It's like,
The prince and princess lived.
it's not translatable, but it's something you use to tie up and say, now we're at the end of the story. So, okay, por ejemplo, that's all, folks.
Okay.
That's colorín colorado. And they lived happily ever after. That's colorín colorado. It's a little saying that just ties up the loose end of the story into a little bow at the end of the story.
Any idea where that came from?
No. I will see if I can find out this week. Where does that come from? Colorín colorado. No lo sé. I do not know. But it sounds like the lilt of a little poem. So
Yeah.
It sounds nicer than that's all, folks. And that's
The
all she
end.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all she said, right? It's whatever ties the story up into a little bow at the end, into a nice, neat package. Yeah, that's all she wrote. End of the story.
It's a little rhyme because doesn't she say colorín
Uh,
colorado?
it is kind of,
La
yeah,
cuenta se acabado or something like that?
se ha acabado. It has finished. Yeah. And it has finished and it's over and done with. Yeah. That's exactly correct. So it's nothing more than a little saying to say we're at the end of the story. Boom. Bien. Okay. Excelente. Bueno, hay más preguntas. Any other question on the little cute story or no? No. Nada. Okay. Vale, perfecto. Okay. Seguimos o sigamos. Let's go on. Sí. Sigamos al tercer tema, onto our third topic, and that is llevar. And llevar I saved for last because llevar probably has the widest variation of uses, I think, of the ones that we have done. So we're going to hear some illustrations of llevar. We'll maybe do one or two examples, and I think we're going to come back to, you'll have the week to prepare some other examples. Okay, llevar. Quiero saber, ah, si ustedes, quiero saber si ustedes me pueden decir la definición más fácil de llevar o la definición más común de llevar. What would be
Carry
like the,
something somewhere?
Carry, to contain,
yeah,
to wear.
carry,
To
take.
take somebody somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, the carry or take. The carry or take, all of these verbs have a core thing. Quedar had that remain idea, yeah, of something being vaguely in a place. And llevar has that vague idea of take. And it means you're picking something up and moving it to a different place. That's the core idea behind llevar. And in English, we'll say take, bring, carry. And that's in at the core. But then it morphs into other ideas. So a lot of videos, I'll tell you, here are 6 uses, here are 8 uses. You know what? They're probably around 9 and probably even more, probably a couple that I'm going to miss. But we're going to look at some highlights. And llevar, I think, morphs into things that go maybe a little further afield from that core idea, maybe than the other verbs we've done so far. But you can either take somebody or something with that idea of take. All right. But the person or the thing is being moved in space. Yeah. So you might phrase it in English as bring or take. And you take somebody somewhere, as in you give them a ride, you put them in your car, or. And okay, so that's the most common. But also, we use it a lot to, especially when we're inquiring about what ingredients a particular dish, a type of food has. Okay, not what the name of the dish is, but what stuff is included to make that dish. out of all the ingredients, right? What ingredients? So I guess that goes a little bit further astray from the take, uh, but there it is. We use it for wear, wearing clothing or hairdos even, yeah? So we might or might not include, tag on that word puesto or puesta along with this. You might hear it without puesto, you might hear it with puesto. The puesto is just a little more specific because that means put on. Puesto comes from poner, all right? And the reason you might hear the puesto is that you can sometimes misinterpret llevar. If I say ella lleva una blusa, it might mean she's wearing a blouse, or it might mean she is taking the blouse maybe to her sister's because her sister wants to borrow it. Yeah. So to make it super clear, they might tag on that puesto or puesta word. Okay. Uh, we use llevar, or you may hear llevar used to talk about somebody managing or directing uh, a business, an enterprise, a company, or a project. And that means that person's in the driver's seat, okay? That they're running it, yeah? That they run a company, or they run the department, or they are handling or directing a project. Uh, it's if we pair up the word llevar with para llevar, it takes on the to go idea of ordering food. And this is a super useful one for tourists because quite often, especially if you're getting a small type thing at a taco stand, or you're picking up just a coffee or just a drink, the person as they're ringing up your sale on the at the cashier's machine might say, "Es para llevar," is it to go? Yeah.
Mm.
And so that para llevar means you're picking it up and taking it outside as opposed to sitting down at the eating establishment, right? At the cafe or restaurante. Para llevar is to go. Okay. And maybe these next ones might be less urgent, but number 9 is going to kind of shines and puts you above the crowd if you can use number 9. So number 7, if we make it reflexive, llevarse is to get along. Or if you make it negative, not get along with somebody. And you're going to hear some examples of that. Sometimes we use llevarse not as to get along, but to take off with something, to make off with something. And it might mean stolen or it might not mean stolen. It might mean stolen as in, se llevó mi cartera. He took off with my wallet. Yeah. Meaning somebody robbed you, or me lo llevo means I'll take it with me. Yeah, like when you're buying something, me lo llevo, you're just indicating, hey, I'll take this. And the lo is the thing you'll take, the thing you're buying, and I'm taking it with me, so it means I'm leaving with it, is the me part. Yeah. And that won't necessarily mean it's stolen, just that I'll take it. Yeah. This is the one that a lot of people use in everyday life, and it doesn't translate exactly. So English speakers tend to be somewhat hesitant to use this, but this one is really common. Llevar with a chunk of time, a period of time, And then an ando or yendo participle. And that's for talking about somebody has been doing something. And the doing something is the ando yendo. Has been participating, has been working, has been dating somebody. And it indicates that somebody's been doing something for a period of time. The thing they're doing is the ando or the yendo verb that you have, the participle. And it means that that activity still is going on, right? That you have been doing it for that, whatever that chunk of time, that period of time is, but it's still happening. It hasn't stopped yet. Okay. And I've got some examples of that here, but I'm going to let you read those on your own. There is a negative version, so you'll see that at the bottom. So that part I'm going to let you read on your own. What I want to do is to show a kind of cute little video where she uses lots of examples in context as someone might use them when they're speaking with somebody else on the phone or in person. Ok, para ilustrar los usos, ¿no? Bien, y vamos a comenzar aquí. We're going to start here. And I'll give you the link for this so you can listen to it again, but I want you to hear the examples in context because the context uses are really, really helpful.
Hola a todos, hoy vamos a ver 6 diferentes usos del verbo llevar. Vamos a ver el primer uso con esta escena. Sí, lo voy a ver ahorita. Le voy a llevar la cámara y también llevo el documento.
So I'm going to take the camera or bring him the camera. See, le voy a llevar, the le is the him part. Yeah. I'm going to bring him the camera. I'm going to take the camera to him. This is like physically moving the camera so that it will wind up with somebody else, right? Le voy a llevar la cámara y también llevo el documento. And I'll also bring the document. Llevo el documento. I'll bring or I'll take the document. It means you're moving those objects, physical objects, in space to a different area.
En esta escena se usó la forma más común de entender el verbo llevar. Llevar algo de un lugar a otro. Pero ¿qué pasa con los siguientes ejemplos?
Llevar with with quantities.
Sí, además llevo 3 tazas de café y
besides, I've had 3 cups of coffee. Not that she's carrying them with her, but it's kind of like, like you might say, I have downed, I have had. It means bebí or tomé. I drank them down. Okay. Además, llevo 3 tazas de café y estoy toda acelerada. I am revved up, right? I'm on a caffeine high.
Estoy toda acelerada. Y llevo como 15 minutos esperando el autobús y no pasa.
And I've been waiting for the bus for about 15 minutes. The como is just like 15 minutes, meaning not 15 minutes exactly, but yeah, she's approximating, right? Llevar, chunk of time, 15 minutos, esperando. The esperando tells what I've been doing. And the implication is I'm still waiting, that it hasn't ended yet. Yeah. Llevo como 15 minutos esperando. I have been waiting. And the have been is in the llevo. Yeah. And it's still not coming. Y no pasa.
Ojalá pase pronto porque ya no quiero caminar. Llevo como 10 kilómetros caminados el día de hoy. Llevar tiempo, llevar distancia, llevar tazas de café. ¿En dónde llevas las tazas de café? Esto puede ser confuso para personas que están aprendiendo español, porque en español utilizamos el verbo llevar para explicar que algo se ha realizado por cierta cantidad de tiempo, de distancia o de cosas.
It's used in connection with things or time or distance. And what we're going to really focus on is the time or distances part, right? You've been doing something for a certain distance in space or for a certain period of time, but the period of time is good. This is the one that's a real little gem. If you can learn to use I've been doing this for a period of time with this structure, people think, wow, they are impressed with you. So
Otros
a good
ejemplos
one to
serían,
practice next week.
llevo 3 cervezas, no puedo manejar.
I've had 3 beers. I'm carrying in my belly 3 beers. Llevo 3 cervezas. Yeah, I've already had those to drink and no can drive, no puedo manejar.
O la caminata es de 5 kilómetros. Llevo 4, me falta 1.
Yeah, the walk is 5 kilometers. I've walked 4, llevo 4. This is how many I've done already. Me falta uno. I've got one left. Okay.
O llevo casi 3 años aprendiendo alemán.
I've been learning German for 3 years and I'm still doing it. I haven't stopped. Okay? This means there's not an end to that activity. It's still going on.
Pero no he sido constante. Por cierto, si aún no eres miembro de la comunidad, te
And
dejamos.
we're going to skip some of the promotion.
Uso sería con la frase llevar a cabo.
And this one I don't have in my prompts, but it's a good one to at least see. Llevar a cabo. A cabo is an end, an ending. You know, you've heard of Cabo San Lucas, yeah? Or El Cabo. It's a cape. Geographically speaking, a cabo is a cape, like move out into a bay or a body of water. But llevar al cabo is to take something to its end point. All right. And we would say probably in English, carry out. It talks about accomplishing something.
Marilyn,
Mm-hmm.
are all these terms or usages of llevar the same on this side of the ocean?
Creo que sí. The lady giving this presentation is Mexican. So, yeah. I
Okay.
don't think there's any difference in this use in Latin America versus Spain, to my knowledge. I think they're all consistent.
Okay, thank you.
Sí.
Llevar a cabo, que significa realizar una acción o una actividad. Esta frase generalmente se escucha en conversaciones más formales.
And that's the reason I don't have it in your practice for the coming week. It is probably a more formal kind of thing that you would see in writing or maybe in a TV speech a little bit more than everyday
O tal
conversation.
vez la puedes leer en algún documento formal, aunque también la puedes escuchar en conversaciones de la vida cotidiana. Vamos a ver el ejemplo. Sí, aquí dice, el proyecto se llevará a cabo en 3 etapas. Otro uso viene de la expresión llevarse bien. Y esto significa que hay una relación amistosa entre 2 personas o 2 partes. Yo no me llevo bien con nadie del trabajo. Todos me caen mal, menos tú.
Yeah, I don't get along with anybody at work. I don't like anybody. Oh, except you. Now, todos me caen mal. Everybody falls bad on me, meaning I don't like them, right? They fall badly on me means I don't like those people. Yeah. It's not like saying no me gusta la cerveza. I don't like beer, right? Gustar is for liking things, but caer bien or caer mal is used for liking or not liking people, human beings.
Otro uso, utilizarlo cuando quieres indicar que alguien va a ser responsable de realizar alguna tarea por un tiempo, que va a ser responsable de llevar a cabo el trabajo.
and here's the manage or run something. Yeah, not running in a race.
¿Y entonces quién va a llevar la administración del proyecto? Yo no, ¿eh? Yo ya voy a llevar las redes sociales. A ver, te voy a colgar porque estoy viendo a Rodrigo, pero creo que no me ve. Le voy a llamar. El sexto y último uso por el video de hoy es para indicar, para comunicar que traes algo puesto. Por ejemplo, llevo una blusa azul. Vamos a ver la última escena. Aquí estoy. Estoy vestida de negro y llevo una bufanda como del color de una gran pared que está al lado.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a scarf, same color as this big wall, yeah, that's next to me. Llevo una bufanda.
Ojalá hayan aprendido algún uso nuevo del verbo llevar. Y estoy leyendo un comentario de otro video de Mel Ancorley, que escribió: ¿ella de dónde es? ¿De cuál país? Soy de México, Mel. Ustedes pueden utilizar los comentarios para saludarnos, para hacernos preguntas.
Okay, bien. So let's leave that for now. I'm not going to have you practicing llevar a cabo, but I am going to, we've got time to start a few of these so that you won't have all 10 to do for the coming week. We're going to take a look at some of these. And one of them, the first one we're going to do is the easiest and the shortest, and it's actually going to cut out one of the parts of the structure, and you'll see what it looks like when I bring the screen up here. A ver. Okay, bien. Most of these we're not going to have time to do tonight, but we're going to take a look at probably a couple of them, right? And this one is going to use llevar with a chunk of time. And it's not going to, this particular one isn't going to use the ando yendo. The implication is going to be living in a place. ¿Cuántos años, or maybe cuántos meses if you're only a part-time of the year person, right? It could be meses, months. It could be years, años, right? ¿Cuántos años o cuántos meses llevas en Arizona? And here we don't even have an ando yendo. How long have you been in Arizona? ¿Cuántos años llevas en Arizona? ¿Cuántos años? Yo llevo más de 30 años en Arizona. ¿Sí? ¿Y ustedes?
Sí.
Ok. También mucho tiempo con Esteban, ¿no?
Para mí,
Sí.
I don't know if I can say it this way. Yo he llevado aquí por más de 40 años.
Ok, bien. So, llevo más de 30 años. Okay.
I use a. Is that correct still to
He
say?
llevado, sí, se puede, you can.
It's easy to say.
Llevo, he llevado kind of indicates an end.
Oh, no end. I'm still here.
And you're not moving. So
No.
easier for them to understand that you're still here by saying, llevo más de 30 años
Gracias.
aquí, ¿sí? Llevo, o por ejemplo, una persona que vive durante el verano, por ejemplo, en Minnesota, ¿sí? Puede decir, llevo 6 años en Arizona. I've been here for 6 months. Llevo 6 meses, 6 años, no, 6 meses. 6 meses, sí. Llevo 6 meses en Arizona. ¿Sí? ¿Bien? ¿Ok?
Sí. Entiendo,
Okay, ¿entienden? So, in that case, been living here, you'll probably just have the I carry this number this chunk of time in the place. But we're going to see with other things that talk about a more specific kind of activity, you'll tend to see the ando yendo coming in. So let's talk about the working, right? If you want to ask somebody, how long have you been working as a volunteer, right? You're retired, but you work as a volunteer. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas trabajando? And here we're going to pull in our trabajando so that we know what it is you've been doing and you're still doing it. How long in the past? And it carries out, you're still doing it now. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas trabajando de voluntario? ¿Ok? ¿Quién aquí tiene un trabajo de voluntario? Sí, Karen.
Sí, llevo más de 30 años
¡Wow!
trabajando de
Trabajando
voluntario.
de
Sí.
voluntaria. ¡Wow! Ok, magnífico, magnífico. Ok, ¿alguien más? Sí, Janet.
Llevo 15 años trabajando de voluntario en el jardín botánico.
Perfecto, perfecto. Muy bien, muy bien. Sí. Ah, excelente. Sí. Ah, mi, mi hermana, por ejemplo, mi hermana lleva. Mi hermana lleva 7 años trabajando en un parque, o también un parque botánico en Michigan. Bien. Excelente. Bueno, ok. Ahora tiempo. Ok. ¿Alguien más? ¿Alguien más? Anybody else? Sí, Susana.
Sí, sí, llevo 6 años trabajando en el clínico Mayo.
Ok, perfecto. Sí, trabajando en el clínico, sí, en Mayo. Bien, perfecto, perfecto. Ok, a ver, and I'm gonna just show, we're gonna look at a little exception to this. And the little exception is if you're meaning that you don't work anymore, yeah? How long haven't you been working? And the implication is you're retired, right? Yeah. Um, that you're retired. ¿Sí? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas sin trabajar? How long haven't you been working? And look at what's a little bit different. What's a little bit different is this part of the phrase. Instead of the trabajando, because it's a negative thing, meaning you're not working anymore, we switch out the trabajando for sin trabajar. Sin trabajar. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas sin trabajar?
Mm.
¿Cuánto tiempo llevas sin trabajar, Cristina?
So, llevo 10 años sin trabajar por, pagar, por pay,
Oh, ok,
porque
sí.
también llevo 10 años trabajando como voluntario.
Ok, como voluntaria, bien, bien, sí. Sin pago, without pay.
Sin
Sí,
pago.
sin pago, ¿ya? Sin pago. Ah, ok, bien. Perfecto. O, por ejemplo, es posible decir algo como llevo mucho tiempo sin ver a, a, a mi familia. I haven't seen my family for a long time.
Mm.
Yeah. But because it's a negative idea, we can flip in, or you'll hear that word sin in there. And you'll get all those little nuances in the examples when I send you. I'm going to have one file that has all those meanings of llevar and then all the little examples. But this idea of talking about llevar with time in particular, I want to point out, because the idea of using llevar as in these is a good thing to practice, because this is something that people use a lot, and our English brain doesn't have a good we try to translate word for word rather than using these nice chunks, these nice structures, yeah, that sound more natural to them. So they have been doing something, right? Um, we want to get used to this llevar with a chunk of time and an ando. Or, another phrase you might hear, ¿cuánto tiempo llevas sin fumar? If they know somebody stopped smoking, yeah? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas sin fumar? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas sin beber, como alcohol? Like somebody who stops drinking booze for a lot of very good reasons, right? Sin tomar, sin beber, okay? But this one here is kind of a golden one, because many times we talk about something we have been doing for a period of time. And what you mean is, I've been doing this for, it might be months, it might be years, but it hasn't ended yet. It still continues on into the present. And that's kind of a golden concept that can be done with a very set structure like this. And it's a great, great one to have under your belt. So I'd like to make sure that you come to class with one example that's like this one, this underlined one, okay? Come with a different one that's not a question, but something that expresses something that's been going on. You could talk about yourself, you could talk about somebody else, yeah? No importa, doesn't matter who you talk about, but a good thing to incorporate. And we have to practice that, yeah? Because we're always thinking of have been doing, and we don't want those have been words. We want llevar. That will sound like supernatural when you speak to somebody. Todo bien? All good?
Sí,
Okay,
sí.
so you'll get the file with all the llevar stuff. You'll get the little questions, and we're going to go from number 3 on, right? And you're going to have a brand new video to listen for a storytelling video. It'll be actually, oh yeah, el tema. El tema es de interés muy general para, para los viajeros, for travelers. Okay? ¿Todo bien? All good?
Sí.
Next week is our last class of the winter session. We're all set up for spring. We got enough people, so we're good. Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias. And so we'll start brand new. So next week is our last week. Then we've got a week off, just so that people know, because I know a lot of you are on the road. So, todo bien. Okay? Gracias por participar.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Sí, de
Yes.
nada, de nada.
Buen fin de.
Sí, un buen fin de, sí, un fin de con mucho calor.
No problema.
Mucho.
Desgraciadamente, sadly, desgraciadamente.